Well, pumpkins in the fall go well together, but sometimes we can have challenges growing pumpkins in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, that's definitely.
So we're in a field here. We have some beautiful pumpkins, but we've had a few challenges for the year. What are some of the issues that you see when trying to grow pumpkins in Oklahoma, especially from maybe your expertise, a disease standpoint?
Yeah, in Oklahoma, and thank you, Dr. Morris, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with pumpkins in Oklahoma, but by far, the most important so far is powdery mildew, and it's caused by several oomycete pathogens. But for one that's known in Oklahoma, it's mostly Podosphaera xanthii that cause the disease, and it's kind of come late around July, but before then you can also see symptoms of downy mildew, but it's not as important as powdery mildew.
Okay.
So, and it kind of spread like wildfire if it's not controlled.
So powdery mildew can take over if you let it, right?
Yeah.
So what are some things we can do as we're trying to prevent that from taking over?
Yeah, so that's very important. So first of all, you need to have a good site selection. So where are you going to grow your pumpkins? Are there sites that are known, that have known history of powdery mildew? You want to avoid that site. And if you have that and it's a must use, probably you want to rotate like for a few years, like a year or two, before you grow your pumpkins on them. That's very critical in your decision making. After that, you have to make sure that you don't use sprinkler irrigation. Try to, as much as possible, to use drip irrigation because sprinkler irrigation spreads the spores around and makes it to spread like wildfire on the plants. One thing you want to do also, although it's difficult because of the crawling nature of a pumpkin, is to space them. If you space them, you kind of delay the time that these spores travel around to cover the plants. That's critical, but again, as I said, pumpkins are kind of crawling and spread in their growth. So the more you delay the onset, the better you're able to control it at that point. Another thing that you want to do, you have to spray. Just spray first. That's what I'm going to tell you. If you're in doubt of what's happening, spray first to protect your plants and probably ask later. We have a clinic at Oklahoma State University, the Plant Disease and Insect Diagnostic Lab. You can send your samples there if you're in doubt of what is happening. Sometimes these symptoms early on can be confused with each other. Yeah. So you can send your samples there.
Okay, that's great. So I heard site selection, cultivar selection, spacing, proper irrigation, drip irrigation.
Yeah.
And then you can always, if you see symptoms, take a sample, send them to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so for this type of issue in pumpkins, have you seen research trials where universities are looking at, hey, what works best and how can we use that maybe in our backyards? How can we take that info and use it at home?
There's a lot of research going on pumpkins across the country. But here in OSU, John Damicon, who was a previous professor in my position, did a lot of work on pumpkins. So he did some trials on chlorothalonil and other fungicides to see which is best to apply in terms of control.
Yeah.
I think there are fact sheets on this, and if you want to have more information on that, I can share the fact sheet with you at a later point, or check on the website.
Those fact sheets are always great info, right?
Yeah. So beside powdery mildew, other things can go wrong with your pumpkin plants. You can still have downy mildew. So not so big of an impact, but it could be critical depending on your location in Oklahoma. Also, there are issues of bacterial spot that can happen. Then squash bugs was big this year. Typically, squash bugs are not really a big thing on pumpkins, but I was called by a grower down in Shawnee to look at his pumpkin field, and he had a lot of squash bugs.
Okay.
And that actually was part of the things that prompted us to put on a grant to look at the cucurbits in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's interesting that one of the first things you said was site selection. And I think that's what a lot of what we had going on here was this was a little bit rougher site in the field. And so we've got some work to do probably to build up this soil a little bit too before we go in with other crops. And so, yeah, I think that's important as well, all the way through that system that you described to sometimes you just have to spray, right?
Make sure you keep up with your sprays. So if you see inoculum build up and you have a lot of powdery mildew or disease build up, typically you spray within 14 days apart. But if you see that you have too much of disease epidemics, you might want to spray more frequently, like 7 days intervals or even 10 days intervals to help to reduce the disease pressure on this. Because long term, when you have a weak plant, it exposes it to other diseases and other things, and makes it so weak that other things can come in easily. And things that would not typically affect the crop will start affecting the crop. And before you know it, it comes out with several diseases in one space.
Yeah, I think we can find a lot of these plants infested with aphids too, right? Or they were kind of weak, and then the aphids came in and...
Yeah. And aphids are known to transmit viruses. And if you look around the field, you're going to see some virus diseases on the plants. So it depends on the location and also how proactive we are in taking the steps to manage the diseases and other things like insects too, the beetles too.
And if we can put all these things to practice, what would we get at the end? Probably a beautiful pumpkin, right?
Yeah, if you have beautiful pumpkins, especially what you mentioned earlier on, the sooty molds that can come on the pumpkin, you want to avoid that because you want to have something really beautiful to see and to sell and to use in your events and other things like that.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Well, thank you, Dr. Gibran.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Moss. Happy to talk to you.
For more information, check out this fact sheet. We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.